Alright, let's dive into something that's both eye-opening and, honestly, a bit overlooked, the census. Now, I know what you're thinking, the census? Really? But stay with me, because this isn't just about numbers and forms. It's about visibility, representation, and the stories of communities that often get left out of the conversation. Personally, I think the census is one of those tools that, when done right, can actually change how we understand and support vulnerable populations. But here's the thing, it's not as simple as just sending out forms and waiting for responses. Take homelessness, for example. Imagine you're living in a tent, struggling to meet basic needs, and someone hands you a census form. What's your priority? Probably not filling out a survey. But here's where it gets interesting. Advocates and government planners need this data to understand the scale of the issue and allocate resources effectively. What many people don't realize is that homelessness isn't just about people sleeping on the streets. It's about folks couch surfing, living in overcrowded shelters, or in temporary setups like Timothy Coles, who's been living in a tent in Coffs Harbour. His willingness to complete the census to highlight the hardships faced by Australians is a powerful reminder of why this data matters. Now, let's talk about the barriers. Anna Millett from Pete's Place, a homeless support service, points out that many clients can't read or write, or they're dealing with complex issues like mental health, addiction, or domestic violence. Filling out a form? That's the last thing on their minds. But here's the twist, the Australian Bureau of Statistics, ABS, has been working to make the process more accessible. They've got field officers stationed at places like soup kitchens and street-side medical facilities, conducting face-to-face interviews with a simplified, two-page form. What this really suggests is that collecting this data isn't just about ticking boxes, it's about meeting people where they are, both physically and emotionally. One thing that immediately stands out is how the ABS has evolved in its approach. Liz Allen, a demographer from the Australian National University, was missed in the 1996 census when she was couchsurfing as a teen. But now, the ABS has a more holistic definition of homelessness, which includes people living in improvised dwellings. This isn't just bureaucratic jargon, it's a recognition that homelessness is far more complex than we often acknowledge. And it's a step toward ensuring that these individuals aren't invisible in the data. But here's where it gets even more fascinating. The census isn't just about counting people, it's about recognizing communities. Take the Yazidi, or Yazidi, community, for instance. They're pushing for their own checkbox on the census because, right now, they have to tick other and write it in. Bain Al-Hossan, a 16-year-old Yazidi volunteer, explains that this recognition is crucial for their community's visibility. From my perspective, this isn't just about convenience, it's about acknowledging a group's existence and their unique struggles, especially given their history of persecution and displacement. And it's not just the Yazidi community. The Jewish community is also advocating for their own checkbox. Peter Woodheim from the Executive Council of Australian Jewry points out that rising anti-Semitism has made many Jewish people hesitant to record their faith. If you take a step back and think about it, this raises a deeper question. How do we balance the need for accurate data with the very real concerns of marginalized communities? It's a delicate line to walk, especially when historical traumas are still fresh in people's minds. What makes this really interesting is how these efforts tie into broader trends. The 2021 census showed a 5.2% increase in homelessness since 2016, and that was during the COVID pandemic when governments were actively housing people to reduce infection risk. Dr. Allen expects the numbers to rise again, which means the stakes are higher than ever. But here's the thing, the census isn't just a snapshot of where we are, it's a roadmap for where we need to go. It informs policy, allocates funding, and, most importantly, gives a voice to those who are often silenced. In my opinion, the census is more than just a bureaucratic exercise. It's a tool for justice, a way to ensure that no one is left behind. But it's also a reminder of how much work still needs to be done. Personally, I think the efforts of communities like the Exodus and the Jewish people to be recognized are a testament to the power of visibility. They're not just asking for a checkbox, they're asking to be seen, to be counted, to matter. So, as we wrap this up, I'll leave you with this thought: what does it mean for a community to be invisible in the data? And what can we do to change that? The census might seem like just a form, but it's so much more than that. It's a chance to rewrite the narrative, one checkbox at a time. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below.